to Glenville State College in the athletic department here in the Waco Center and in the Coaches Show. Our guest today is head track and field and cross-country coach, Coach Dan Myers. Good to have you here this afternoon, sir.
Coach, thanks for having me.
Hey, after there were some good moves forward in the cross-country season. Now we've jumped into the indoor season, and with COVID last year, this one will be the second indoor championship ever with the small colleges in West Virginia, and it's great to see it back, and you all got a jump on everything. Tell us some of your thoughts coming off the Marietta competition.
It was first December meet that we've had, in quite some time, like you addressed with COVID, and we shook off the rust. I think there was definitely some high points, a lot of things to work on, but I think for an early season meet, I think we got out of it what we needed to. It was a smaller, low-key meet at Marietta. Love going up there. Coach Davis does a great job, and we're able to get a multi out of it as well. So it served a big purpose for our team moving into the break, and it's really just kind of up to them now, to keep their foot on the gas over break, get their workouts in, so we can come back strong, and we go back to Marietta on January 14th to see what we can do then.
And I know training, we talked about, how we'd always have a mini peak in indoor and then try to, rally it around. Now that there's a championship indoor, and this goes back to the lifting even, how we would max and then we'd roll into, off our percentages and competition lifting. How much as a head coach have you had to do in the way of adjustments with an indoor championship now right there in February?
Well, the lifting program, as you attested to, is a little bit different with the indoor peak. They went up after we maxed out after Thanksgiving. Now they've kind of dropped the weight a little bit and kind of done a lot more reps, sets and reps. And then a big adjustment, for me as a coach, with the indoor championship, a big part of it is the long sprint training. We've kind of we're going a little quicker, a little faster with some of our workouts, and then the distance it's a completely different animal. I would have loved to give them a lot more time off after cross country, but we took about 10 to 14 days between the groups, and their meet on December was just to kind of get a mark down, just because we kind of had to, and their training, they're going through it right now to where it's feeling tough. It's feeling a lot tougher than they imagined at this point, but they put a lot more miles on fall than they've ever had before, so they're just trying to regain some strength and things like that. But the distance programs, a lot different, but they kind of raced with not many Q days under their belt, kind of going into the December 3rd meet that we had.
Well, looking ahead to February, and I was with Coach Rogers there this morning and shared the honor roll and teepers and that whole process there. Is before it was an eye on the big picture and training and moving forward and preparing for the outdoor. And maybe if you get somebody that can qualify for nationals indoor, obviously that changes. But now there has to be an eye on qualifying. Correct?
Right, absolutely, and that was a big reason why the distance group, I competed all of them in December, just because.
And the multis.
Yeah, and the multis. We had to get it kind of a mark down, and usually for indoor, if you don't have an indoor championship to contest for, and you're doing the multi, it's really just kind of getting used to the break in between vents and how you transition and how you strategize during the multi. And this was really, we had to get a mark down, but that's really good for the multis as well. We can kind of fine tune some things moving into February. But it's a lot different kind of managing, where your strengths are indoor as adverse to your weaknesses. And I think outdoor, we do tend to be a little bit stronger with more throwing events, and we're very strong in the throws. But I think that we're gonna make up for that in the weight and the shot, just from the guys that already had their performances already.
I want to talk about some of those individuals. I know with Brodie Strodoman breaking his own school record, but breaking it substantially by over a meter almost, right there in the weight throw. But him and Ian Beller putting up those kind of numbers right off.
Yeah, and that was a great. It was a long day for them. They warmed up probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they didn't throw the weight until about 9:30 at night. So, they warmed up very, very early in the day, and had some big throws. Ian has just worked his butt off, all year and during the summer, and after taking last year off, and then Brodie being able to have 5 throws over his school record and being within 40 centimeters of the the national provisional mark, currently ranked ranked 30th in the country.
Yep.
It's a testament to his hard work. And shot, he's improving a lot on that and had a big indoor PR in that as well, along with Ian Beller. And we have a lot of guys that in the shot too, like a Christian Hanna or Michael Clay, Jeremy Taylor, Brandon Bowie. Some guys that I think that can kind of squeeze in some scoring points as well. Christian Hanna also in the weight will be a big scorer for us. So those guys have done really good. Coach Devin has prepared them well, and I think that we've kind of got some good marks down. I think there's some more points to be had from those two events for sure.
The vault, we got two-time champion in Nate Wheeler. Of course, we had two of the top three vaulters, in everybody's preseason thoughts there with Hayden Kuhn, who we didn't have this time. Of course, one of the league's top hurdlers as well. But then Travis Hill, to the mix. Now, tell me about the vault and how excited you are. Plus, there's, you got some young folks in the multis.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunter Jones, in the multi has improved a lot in the vault. And I think that he's not just going to be a force in the multi, but I think that he has a potential to score in the vault. Nate Wheeler didn't have the jump that he wanted to. He was kind of going between pole vault and high jump. That happens. We're trying to get some guys involved in high jump. And I think next time we're specifically going to go out and try to give him a big mark in the vault, but had a big PR in the 55, so that was good. That was good to see. But Travis Hill, kind of being kind of an unknown force that we kind of picked up, from football, and being able to go 13-9 with not jumping since like the 9th, 10th grade is crazy. It's crazy, and it's not from a full approach yet, and there's some still things to fine tune, but he's gonna help us, and we're hoping to get him involved in some other events as well. But it's going to be a lot of points. Coach Logan's done a great job with the vaulters, and I think that whole group had personal best kind of for their opener, so they're sitting well in December. I'm proud of that group.
And then the sprinters, the sprint jump, that area, I know you had Glover, Bruce, Otis, certainly had some folks that are putting some marks up right off. Right, either if we're not in the top 8, you got several right on the end, and the 400s had some really nice runs. Yeah,
I'll start with the 400. It's especially for freshmen or even sophomores. 200-meter flat track is not it's not 400 meters runner's best friend. More tight turns and everything like that. But their times converted really well for where they're at in December. Just from a fitness standpoint, is kind of huge with not a lot of speed and turnover yet. They put in some marks there, and we still have a lot of teams to compete yet, but it's good to see where they're at starting out. And then, Otis, didn't have a kind of day he wanted in the jumps or probably even the 55, but came back with a strong 200, especially on that track. And Bruce wanted a little better in the 200, but, getting used to 55 and coming back in a final and first time ever running an event that short, kind of adjusting to, kind of how fast that race goes. And, but, overall was really, really good. And just to kind of touch on the hurdlers, Angela Metaphor, huge,
her sprint as well,
absolutely. She had a big 200 PR indoors, converts really well, and then her 55 converted to 60 hurdles is just a big mark for her so far this season. So she was kind of the highlight of that group. Lexi Sirk had a good start. A lot of good things to kind of build on that group, and some things cards we haven't played yet. Hayden Kuhn's battling a sickness, so we'll get him to back in January. So he'll be some big points there, and some other people that we're hoping to have a good showing in January to kind of put our team on a bigger pedestal.
Yeah, your next meet will be back up at Marietta in early January, correct?
Yes.
Second week. But what as far as moving forward, let's say a little piece will close on the indoor schedule, because we probably won't be talking again until up in January.
Yeah, I think it's and I'm the Mountain East just recently moved the conference meet back, so we kind of just made a schedule adjustment, but I'm looking at it as a good thing. I'm really excited about the meet we just added. So basically we went to Marietta on December 3rd. We're going to go back on January 14th. We'll see a lot of conference schools, so probably we have about 6 schools there in December. We'll probably have double that coming in January. January 14th. The following Friday and Saturday, we're going to the Spire Institute up in Cleveland, Olympic Training Facility. Many big memories there, and a great facility that's going to help us kind of relate to what it's going to look like at Marshall. Very similar type tracks, and going to go to Youngstown the next week after that. Take a group there, and then we recently added in a meet in Logan, Ohio, at the Chieftain Center. Haven't been there before, but a wide 200-meter flat track is going to help us conversion conversion-wise, and being able to be a big meet that we can, within 2.5 hours, we can take the entire team and get a final mark that's in February 4th, and then we'll come back the 18th and 19th of February and, see who we got qualified for the championship. So a pretty diverse schedule, going to Ohio a lot, obviously, and but we're really looking forward to it down the road. A lot of cards we haven't played yet, but excited at this group, how much they've shaken off the rust and, where we've kind of positioned ourselves so far, but really looking forward to the rest of the season. Happy to be with the group.
Anyway, I really appreciate you coming by and chatting with us today, and keep up the good work. We'll stay in touch. We'll be talking after the break.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you much. Thank you all. Welcome back to Glenville State College in the athletic department here in the Waco Center and the Coaches Show. And today our guest is head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Good to have you with us here.
Good to be
Coach.
back again.
Hey, what? Since the last time we spoke, I know we were coming off the outdoor event last time we spoke. A lot has happened since then.
Yes.
Several strong competitions. I know this past weekend at WVU and then down to Everett. And then, of course, the weekend before you had some solid wins. Just, if you can kind of encapsulate what this, from Thanksgiving on here, like what some major strides for the program, fair to say.
Right. I think we've continued to move in the right direction for the program. Right now, we're battling some bangs and bruises, but everyone is at that time. So, finishing up this last training cycle from Thanksgiving break to Christmas break. So we're at the end of it here, just trying to get our guys through. We have Midwest Classic coming up this week, which is, our toughest tournament of the year, other than, postseason. So our guys are really excited for that. There's a lot of individual opportunity for our guys to beat nationally ranked wrestlers. And that turns to, us being able to get into Intermat's top 25 nationally ranked for our team. And, we're right there on the cusp of it. I think the last two rankings, we've had additional votes to be into the top 25. So we're right outside that top 25 where we want to be, getting into a nationally ranked team. And since Thanksgiving break, I think we've done all the right things. Trying to break in our guys. We've had some lineup changes with 3 of our guys going down in weight classes. We've had transfers coming in. A mid-year transfer just got here today. So the back half of the season, our lineup's going to change a little bit. It's going to be a little different, but I expect our guys to still continue to try to be consistent and focus on, great attitude and great effort in all their matches.
Well, I want to, with all the wins, I know you are 14-3 overall, right? I believe.
Right, 14-3, yeah.
14-3. We'll talk about one of your losses. Going to the Coliseum of WVU, right. Just that whole experience going back to where you started. And still got obviously a lot of friends up there, and with some WVU transfers on your roster.
Right, yeah.
About what that night meant to you personally and the program.
Well, I think more for the program, it was huge for us from even, a marketing standpoint for us to get up there and just, and our guys too, retention standpoint. We took our whole team up there. They got to kind of experience the Coliseum. They got to go into, the locker room, the weight room, the, wrestling room, kind of see the whole spiel from everything. And I think even with a loss, it was very vital for our team to get up there, and it helped us too, because we, WVU kind of exposed us a little bit on mat wrestling. We had done pretty well all year of getting off bottom, and we had some matches where we got some stalling calls, we got rode out. So for me, it was even good in a loss, because now some of our guys, we went back to the drawing board trying to work on different ways to get off bottom, figure out new things. So it was nice, to kind of step up in that competition, because those guys are, as good or better than the top guys in Division II. So hopefully with some of the adjustments that we were able to make from the WVU duel, we won't have those same problems this week when we go to Midwest Classic and face, a bracket with 1 through number 6, in the country. Because some of our guys this week, it's literally going to be the number 1 through the number 8 wrestler are going to be in their bracket in the country, right? So it's going to be a barn burner this week at Midwest Classic. But no, for me, it was awesome to go back. It was a little weird coming out of the opposite side of the tunnel and wrestling on the opposite side of the mat. Same for our West Virginia guys. But, Jordan Williams was a WVU transfer. He got our lone win, so I'm sure that felt great for him. And just in general, DeLong, Jones, they still got to go up there and enjoy themselves and get back in. They were able to talk to a bunch of their friends that they hadn't seen in a while, just in the wrestling room. I was kind of able to reconnect with Kyle Brackey, who I grew up wrestling with. He's their director of operations up there. Tim Flynn, who recruited me. Just a bunch of guys. So it was overall, it was great for us, a great experience, and I think our guys got better from it on the simple fact of some things they got exposed on that maybe we hadn't so far. So we got back to the drawing boards and got better from it.
I want to talk about some of those individuals that are nationally ranked or on the fringe.
Yep.
You spoke to me about when you went up to Tiffin about how important it was the volume of high-quality competition that was there. Now you're going to Indianapolis, facing a similar situation. Yep. You talked about them facing it, but kind of speak to what the program gets out of that, what you're going to get this weekend. It's going to kind of propel you into those key matches coming up in January. Right.
Well, we want to be able to see tough competition early and just kind of gauge on where we're at. I talked to our guys about it today. This is an exciting tournament because we get to see where we're at with the top people in the country. Even if, we have people like Jordan Williams, who's ranked 8th in the country, still, I think the top 6 guys are going to be there in his class, right? So, hopefully those guys wrestle well and get out there against those guys and kind of see where they stack up for, a conference, a super regional, an NCAA tournament. We really talked about making sure that we don't go up there and look at the brackets, because if you look at the brackets, you're going to be like, wow, there's a lot of good people in here. We only got to wrestle one at a time, right? So really taking it one match at a time and making sure that we go out there and get good reps in, not being nervous, because it is a great gauge for us, but if we go out there and wrestle nervous, it's not really a great gauge for us, right? So even in losses, as long as we go out there and wrestle 100% and wrestle hard and push ourselves, now we're going to know, hey, what do we need to work on? Where do we need to get better at? So the main thing for us this weekend going up there is making sure our guys pull the trigger, go and wrestle like they can. That way that we can get an actual good evaluation of where we are as a team and individually moving forward with postseason coming up starting in January with our conference tournament.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's I know we're winding down a couple months away from just a little over a month and a half till conference. And then,
conference is here into January.
So it's bang bang. But I tell you what I want to close with is thought, because I know you're the next match, and grinding, staying on the guys. The conversation outside the program, when I'm on campus and in the community, is we're talking about getting votes for being nationally ranked.
Right.
You got hired 21 months ago. Didn't have a single wrestler in the program.
Yeah.
None. I mean, tell me the degree of satisfaction for us to even be having this conversation right now.
Well, I mean, obviously, I told you when I got the interview that I didn't want to do the whole wait 5 years to bring your guys in to be good. I wanted to be good right away, and I meant that. And I've worked my butt off to try to make this happen, but the wrestlers are the ones that are doing it. I can feed them the food, but I can't make them eat it. So they're doing a good job of buying in to what I'm selling for the program. We're doing a good job in the transfer portal of bringing people in, and then those guys in turn are being great leaders and mentors to our younger guys, bringing them along and kind of teaching them how to grind and everything. I mean, to be honest, we're ahead of what I thought we was going to be. If that's, I don't really like saying that, but if I'm being honest, I think we're ahead of where I even thought we were going to be. But that's great. That's great. I just want to continue to get better, right? The big thing is making sure our guys don't come complacent. And I don't think they're going to, because, yes, it's awesome to talk about it, and there is a lot more buzz. There's a lot more people talking to me, social media, talking about, how far the program's, and that's awesome. That's what we want. We want our team to be marketable. We want it to get out there. We want more people to know about Glenville State Wrestling. But we got to make sure that our guys are continuing, they talk about it all the time, being a nationally ranked team, right? They got to continue just now because they're getting close, right? That's when you got to put the foot on the accelerator and really figure it out, not start cruising for the rest of the year. But our guys they're not going to, they're not even nationally ranked yet. It's right there, right? But they want to be a top 10 team. They want to really start something here for many years to come. So they're working hard. And I talked to you this morning. I said it was our best practice we've had in a long time, and that's exciting going into Midwest Classic. I think the last 2 weeks we've had more problems with our injuries and guys kind of banged up, and I think we're kind of on the back end of it right now, where some of our guys who were banged up are feeling a little bit better, and they're a little bit more chipper in practice and bringing a little bit more energy. Some of our guys that were dropping weight, they're getting their bodies more acclimated to the weight classes, so they're having more energy in practice. So I think it's a really good time for us to start kind of changing over, right, and going into break, and then that way when we come back in January, our January training cycle is really ready to go with our guys cutting weight, and the focus is the end of the month, right, going and winning an MEC conference championship.
Yep. Well, tell you what, really appreciate all you're doing, and excited for next time we talk, because we'll have this one in the books and be moving forward within a month of conference.
Yeah, hopefully on the back end of this, after Midwest Classic, the next rankings I think come out December 31st. So hopefully next time we're talking, we'll be in the top 25, and second year program, first time nationally ranked in the program history, and so hopefully next time we come here, that's what we can be talking about.
Be looking forward. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you now. Until next time, thank you for being with us today.